Hello, my name is Dani. I work for the Santa Clara Valley Open Space Authority, and today I wanted to show you a local urban open space. I'm here at Penitencia Creek Trail, which follows, you guessed it, the Penitencia Creek, which is right behind me. We'll get a little closer later on. Here I am at Noble Avenue and Penitencia Creek Road. Actually, behind me is the entrance to, let's see if I can get it, Alum Rock Park. And up above we have Alum Rock Park in the Diablo Range. That's actually where the headwaters for Upper Penitencia Creek starts. So it starts up above Alum Rock Park, even in the canyons up there, and then it funnels down into the creek we have down below. It goes all the way through the valley and into the Coyote Creek watershed. So behind me, I mentioned Alum Rock Park. Unfortunately, Alum Rock Park is closed until further notice because of concerns about coronavirus. But I wanted to give you a little history about Alum Rock Park. It's actually, according to some sources, the oldest municipal or city park in California. So it's one of the oldest, or if you ask certain people, it is the oldest city park. It's pretty cool. Up until 1936, you could take a steam train into the canyon for a relaxing weekend in a mineral spring or a fancy restaurant. It's pretty interesting. But now it is maintained as a city park where you can recreate, go for a picnic, go for a run. But unfortunately, like I said, right now it is closed. But we still have the Penitencia Creek Trail, which starts at the base of it, and that is still open. And we're going to take a little tour of a portion of that today. We're actually going to start, like I said, at Noble Avenue, which is the eastern end of the Penitencia Creek Trail. All right, let's take a look. All right, so here at the eastern start of the trail, we have this nice circular pad with a few interpretive panels. So let's take a look. We have one talking about the return of the Steelhead trout. So that's a local native fish species found in the creeks in Penitencia Creek. So I'll talk about those fish a little later in the walk. And then we also have an interpretive panel talking about the tree that made these awesome leaves, the western sycamore. And we actually have an example right above us. Really nice big native tree, a lot of natural cavities. I'll talk about that a little later. Really big bright green leaves. Let's continue down the trail. I like this trail because you have the creek to your right, if you're walking my direction, and it's just a nice peaceful walk to hear the creek the whole way. And of course I'm a birder, so I can't go anywhere without binoculars, and so I'll be looking for birds and listening for birds as well today. First thing I notice is this awesome sycamore. This is the western sycamore or California sycamore. It's a native tree that loves stream beds and floodplains. It actually prefers dry summer conditions like we have in California, and it has really deep, straight down roots that taps the groundwater. And I'm just gonna come in closer and so you can see these holes here. So sycamores are awesome cavity trees, and what that means is when a limb breaks off naturally, it actually creates these holes here that we see, and eventually the holes rot out or are excavated by animals like woodpeckers, and it creates a nice home. So things like raccoons, woodpeckers, wrens, and even western bluebirds will use these trees for nests or just refuge at night. Pretty cool. You can identify them by their bark, pretty unique. It kind of flakes off like that. And then let me zoom in on the flowers here. So the flowers are actually clusters that hang down like that, and then they turn into seed balls that can be about golf ball size. And so flowers are pollinated by the wind, and also seeds are dispersed by the wind. So wind is very important for sycamores. The trail, you'll notice that instead of just a paved trail like we just left, there's these boardwalks here, and they're raised up off the ground. and that is actually for the benefit of the sycamores. When creating this trail, engineers and scientists did not want to disturb the sycamore's root system as much as possible. So what they did was create boardwalks. Instead of digging down for a paved trail, they raised the trail up. Pretty cool. Besides sycamores and other native plants, we also can find big eucalyptus trees, which aren't native. They're native to Australia, actually. But you might be familiar with them by their smell. It comes from the oils in the leaves and other parts of the plant. And also, we have these really cool flowers. Hummingbirds and other native animals love those. These eucalyptus were actually planted in 1906. Here on part of the trail we have 2 mallards enjoying some little invertebrates and other things in the gravel beds. See, the female is very cryptically colored. It's almost hard to see her, and the male is in the back. The dashing green head. It just rained earlier. It just smells really good. It's nice to take a break from sheltering at home to take a walk outside. Here we have some blackberry, some non-native radish, yellow mustard, and this really awesome buckeye. I'm going to zoom in on one of the buckeye flowers, or group of flowers. So if you can see that, that is a buckeye inflorescence, or a group of flowers. It's almost like a candle rising out from the leaves. So they're just starting to form. You can see, here's a whole bunch of them. I'll pan around slow. In the coming months, these candles on the buckeye will be bright white and very noticeable. One of the native fishes we have in the upper Penitencia Creek is the steelhead trout. And steelhead actually spend 2-3 years out at sea, believe it or not. They get to see through where the upper Penitencia Creek meets the Coyote Creek, and then the Coyote Creek goes on into the bay. So steelhead will swim back upstream and find the same stream, the same spot where they were born, where they hatched out of little eggs. So it's pretty amazing. So after spending 2 to 3 years at sea, they'll swim back up, and steelhead trout will mate, and then the female will lay her eggs on gravel beds. She loves gravel beds, and that's what's so amazing about the upper Penitencia Creek, is that those gravel beds still remain. A lot of the creek still remains to be what it was in the past. So a lot of our creeks and rivers in the Santa Clara Valley have been altered to fit human lifestyles, but the upper Penitencia Creek remains a great habitat for animals like the steelhead. So steelhead can hatch. The juveniles love slow moving and sheltered banks to grow up. They spend about 1 to 2, maybe 3 years in the creek where they were born before they head out to sea, so they need a nice comfy spot to grow up. And these big sycamores and other trees provide a lot of shelter for them. And it's perfect because our creeks kind of dry up a little bit in the winter, in the summer, and the water slows down, and that's perfect for juvenile trout like the steelhead. Steelhead typically spawn March to July. So coming up spring and summer, make sure you check the water, see if you can see any steelhead swimming upstream in upper Penitencia Creek. Along this trail we have 2 black phoebes on the water. They have black backs and white bellies. They kind of blend in. Oh, and I just heard a Pacific slope flycatcher. They start showing up around this time. Alright, so here we are at Noble Avenue and Penitencia Creek Road. The trail does continue off to the right, so I'll show you how that goes. Alright, so at the corner of Noble and Penitencia Creek Road, you cross Noble Avenue and the trail continues right here beyond this gate. It'll go past some percolation ponds from the Valley Water, or it used to be known as the Santa Clara Valley Water District, and you can actually continue along on the trail for another 3¼ miles, so pretty good hike. Thank you so much for joining me on my exploration of part of the Penitencia Creek Trail. We went from the portion that starts at Alum Rock Park to Noble Avenue, but like I said, it continues on after that, so feel free to explore. And here at the Open Space Authority, part of our mission is to connect people to nature, and so we really hope that you can, if you feel comfortable, go explore a local urban space near you. You can check our website to find one that's nearby, or you can continue to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We'll be doing virtual walks where you can come explore with us from the safety of your own home. But from us to you, we just want to say thank you and stay safe, and hopefully we'll see you on the trails from 6 feet.